Yeah, for just $13 million. 13 to pick 13. Yeah, you're going to risk our lives for $13 million. So the details are as such on this story. Kenyans early today were back on the streets protesting the proposed US-funded Ebola isolation facility at Laikipia Air Base in Nanyuki, with several protesters arrested and police using tear gas to disperse crowds. I like the energy, bro. I like the energy. Obviously, those guys have a right to protest. Yeah, that's their home. Yeah. Laikipia is one of those places that has, first of all, it's very popular, right? And then the environment is just so legit. It's not so populated. Yeah. There's a bunch of farmers over there. It's a tourist attraction in itself. It's just it's an awesome place to be. So you can imagine now there's an Ebola isolation facility in the area. Do you know how freaky that is for the residents over there? Yeah. So now apparently the facility is designed to quarantine Americans arriving from the DRC, which is currently battling an Ebola outbreak that has recorded over 500 infections and 90 plus deaths. Kenya has never recorded an Ebola case, which is fueling public concern. Meanwhile, government insists the country is prepared and is prepared. Yeah, so then they're announcing a couple of things: 23 isolation treatment centers, 4 specialized Ebola laboratories, enhanced border surveillance, mobilization of health workers and medical supplies. The president, William Ruto, obviously he's been on defense mode. He defended the project. Alisama, the US has supported Kenya's health sector for decades, and that rejecting the facility would be unfair. The US, remember, has pledged $13.5 million towards Kenya's Ebola preparedness efforts. And let me tell you one thing. You get the feeling that, of course, Kenyans, and we understand what's going down. Yeah, we understand the urgency when it comes to sorting out this whole Ebola manenos, because East Africa is an alert zone. Yeah. Now, the problem over here is we just don't have confidence in our healthcare system, and I don't know why it is so hard for Gava to figure. Remember the other time, yeah, what we were being told. Of course, most hospitals lack doctors, medicines are often unavailable, the healthcare system is in itself struggling, right? So, on one end, you're telling us that Kenya has whatever it takes to handle this whole Ebola manenos. You're excited about building an Ebola facility, right? But the bigger issue over here is, guys, Kenyans just don't trust you. You have no confidence in that healthcare system. It's already dilapidated in itself, yeah? And another thing that's pissing me off is how the political class in this country literally just doesn't care about Kenyans' concerns. Watu wamesema, they just don't want that thing over here. You know, when your country, the owners of this place, the citizens, you know, they don't want it over here, but you're forcing this thing down their throats. Make it make sense. Yeah? There's no trust, there's no confidence. Yeah, and even if we have good, let me tell you, baby, sometimes I don't understand how our government functions. Yani, this facility could have easily been built somewhere in Uganda, but I bet you Museveni was like, hell no, bana. Hey, him when he's done with that Ebola, man, is, kill him to the kwao. But us guys were so quick, yani. Yeah, Trump was just like, guys, who's ready to host it? I'm gonna pay them 13. Regardless of whatever Kenyans feel. That's why I keep on telling folks, you can never trust in the political class. All right, so that's it. When we come back, still more stories. Why would some women compete for the same man? This is an interesting observation that I had. Right now, it's 14 minutes to Sambili Gangster Boo with Where the Dollar's At. Tony Kazi, good evening.